Hello, everyone. It is predictions time. Wrestlemania 40 just around the corner. We've only got about 48 hours until we're going to be watching the first match. We've got Sam in with us. I'll bring Sam in. We've just seen him a few minutes ago. You're on mute still.
Every bloody time, I swear to
Yep.
God. No, I was going to say that was beautiful, mate. That little intro, then the way it did it, that was nice. I'm into that.
I'm starting to sort of play about with a few extra little bits on a few different things to try and give it a little bit more, a bit of pizzazz, I'd call it.
Yeah, well, you're the man to do that because I wouldn't know where to flipping begin. I'd be like, what do I do here? Like, people don't know this, but if I run into difficulty all the bloody time backstage, and I'm always on the phone to him going, "I need to fix it." But yeah, a couple of again, I'm kicking myself down because I just went on Twitter and I saw the flipping Bloodsport spoiler, and I'm like,
More fool
no.
you. More
I
fool
know I'm
you.
an
Everyone
idiot.
told you not to do it.
I know I'm delete. Well, I was doing it for work. I was doing it for this, but I'm going to delete Twitter off my effing phone tomorrow, only for a few days. But there is. I did also learn some nice news while I was on Twitter. So
That's all right then.
before we get moving with the WrestleMania stuff, you'll recall earlier this week there were some AEW releases and Ring of Honor releases.
Yes.
Well, some good news from the media call is that Anthony Henry has been brought back. A member of the Workhorsemen, somebody I interact with quite a lot on Twitter, have a bit of banter with. So personally, I'm really happy about that. I've sent my congratulations to him. It's nice to see that AEW recognise their mistake. They've brought our boy back into the fold. So Anthony Henry, big love,
Brilliant
mate.
news. We don't want anyone to lose jobs or anything like that. So if you brought back, if you found somewhere in a different company, absolutely brilliant news. If any of the people that was released do want to have a chat with us and have a free open mic, more than welcome to contact us. We will happily set up an interview for you for either here or even over on WrestleSphere.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, because WrestleSphere, we generally have to go through the PRs, but if you're an independent wrestler, if you presently don't have an office, slip into my DMs, slip into Dom's DMs, Dan's DMs. We'll make it happen. It's happened
sort
before.
something out for you.
Yeah, it's happened before. But yeah, we are ready to go. WrestleMania weekend has begun, Dan. So, are you working now? Did you say, or are you off until like Tuesday?
Oh, I'm working tomorrow. I'm off Saturday and Sunday, but I have got so many things I've got to get squeezed in. And then I'm working Monday, but then I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be catching up on a lot of things.
Right, you are.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
My plan is a little bit. Michael's teasing us with Bloodsport. So my plan then is tomorrow is to. Obviously, I'm having to spend a bit of time with my wife. Then I'm gonna once I'm home from where I'm going, I'm going to just balls to the wall, watch everything like Bloodsport, blah 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 blah. I've just revealed as well to Dan that I won't be streaming Mania with him. I'll be watching it with my wife, which is what we usually do, and I didn't do it last year, so we are going to do it this year because I was sat next to you last year, Dan, in the stadium. And who knows?
Next to me at the stadium, sleeping next to me in the bed.
It was great, mate. I missed you. But who knows? And I might be sat next to you at a stadium in the near future again. I say the near future; it's a while off yet, but it might be happening again soon enough. Although next time we'll make the effort to get our own beds. I reckon.
I don't even mind. It was nice. Great little spoon, aren't I?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, okay. I've said it before, and I'll tell anyone. I got back into bed with my very attractive wife, and my first thought was I missed down. So there you go. But yeah, we're here to talk Mania, not whatever we've got going on. So
let's get on with it. I found that absolutely beautiful graphic online a couple of days ago, so I thought that's got to be right at the start. It ties in quite well right at the top with the lightning bolts and the electric and the fireworks. I thought it was really nice.
It made it look sick. You've been working hard. I've just seen a comment from Mark. I know we haven't gone through the comments yet, but in response to it, I'm just going to do something. I'm not stripping. but I want to take my Shield top off because it's a little bit warm in here, and I wore this t-shirt deliberately for this stream. So I'll be one minute.
Okay. While you're doing that, what a win it was. Great match. I've actually started watching the Chelsea Man United game as I'm streaming, and that's been a phenomenal game as well. Beautiful t-shirt. So if you was around last night, you might have seen what I unboxed. So while we're doing t-shirts, I've got my It's Sting
Oh,
t-shirt
you
on.
swine. I'm so jealous of that t-shirt. And all your other Sting t-shirts. I'm so flipping jealous. I am joining that thing. I said to her in bed last night when I was watching you on my iPad in bed, Dan. I was naked as the day I was born.
Whatever you need to get you there.
Yeah, mate. And I said, I'm doing it, I'm doing these flipping crates. I'm sick of him getting all this good stuff and me not getting it. So
like I said, it's about 45 quid every other month, and you'll get everything that I got last night. It's brilliant.
Yeah, suits me.
Oh, Sassy is in.
Oh, sure.
We are going to get to run some predictions very shortly.
This is what you join us for. It's the
chaos.
Bants.
How's that, Sassy?
Look at that, Sassy. Hey, Rebellious Noise are in. I'm just going to I'm being a bit naughty. I'll do the comments, Dan. I'll just jump on the comments.
Go for it.
Rebellious Noise, loving the shirts, boys. We're in the mood. WrestleMania weekend has begun. Is that you there, Scott, behind the back end, as it were? Let's go to all the others. I've been watching your wife's The Sims stuff as well, mate. It's ace because my missus is a massive Sims fan, so I've been trying to get her into it. So let's just go through a couple of the comments before we get going down. Sassy's doing the housekeeping. There we go.
I've been cursed out by Sassy.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I know how to do curses, Dan.
We've got check out WrestleSphere interviews with Danny Luna and Jody Threat, as well as Pretty Deadly and Kevin Owens. And our interview with Gunther is also up right now. I know because it means I wrote an opinion piece the other day and I can't upload it to WrestleSphere because we want Gunther to be there for the duration of Mania. So I'm waiting. But anyway. So here's Michael saying, hey, sorry, Dan, you brought up Sassy's comment. Sorry, I'll get back to it.
No, it's okay. That's fine. Go for it.
Hey, Mox Buddy, you watching Bloodsport? No, she's right here watching us, where she should be, Michael. Let us be jealous of adorable Andy for being at WrestleMania. Yes, adorable Andy Spores. He's not, I think he's going to WrestleCon. I think that's tomorrow night. He's probably getting drunk tonight. I haven't heard from him for a few hours, but he did arrive safely. He sent me a picture of not Philly cheesesteak, but a grilled cheese for some reason.
Yes.
He sent it to you as well, didn't he? It did look nice. I'll give him that. But yeah, we're also, speaking of Andy, we are also streaming live on Wrestling Royalty tonight. So if you're over on Wrestling Royalty and you're watching this and you're like, wow, my God, Andy got more handsome. Well, this is why, basically. So continue to, I'm talking about you, mate, not me. Continue to support Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Tom Talks Rubbish. Great interviews featuring Dom, San, and Dan and Sam. Yeah, Tom Talks Rubbish has interviewed us all. He did me and Dom recently. He's probably going to knock on your door soon, Dan, as well, I would have thought.
Probably. He's also done your partner.
Yeah, well, he did just to find out what it's like living with someone as eccentric as me, and what it's like to live with somebody who watches wrestling like 12 hours a day. So sorry about my squeaky chair, but it is what it is. If Andy sees this, have fun and going crazy.
Yeah.
If Cody wins and Stone Cold comes, lose your mind. Oh, he will. He's such a mark.
Yeah.
Marina Shafir is a beast. Don't spoilers. I agree, Mox Buddy. Watched CMLL for the first time. Awesome wrestling in so many styles. Loved it. Yeah, it's a good one. Did you know I've got a mate who lives in Mexico City, and they go to CMLL shows. So that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Rishab, who's one of us, a member of the community. He goes eating in the Great Khali's restaurant every now and then as well.
That's so cool.
Yes, how mad is that? Do you like Mox's new look? I haven't seen it yet. I'm a bit behind on AW. I need to catch up. I kind of liked him with short hair. Does it? Oh God, has he got more? Okay.
But he grown it back.
So we've got a new dude in, Stringfellow Hawk. Hello, mate. Thank you for joining us. Bloodsport's definitely worth watching. I'll get to it, Michael.
Definitely.
This is what I was responding to. I'm wearing my Bray Wyatt t-shirt tonight. You guys talking about football.
I've got the documentary. I haven't had a chance to watch it because I've had no time to myself.
Scott making rude jokes.
Yeah, got to. That's what we're here for.
Punk is at GCW. Ooh. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? That GCW and WWE are working together a lot.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy that that's happening.
Do you know what's really, really strange, Dan? Is that a few years ago, they worked with WWN very closely. And before that, Ring of Honor, I think, a little bit. But then they kind of, Ring of Honor, WWN became like their, almost an Evolve, because they owned Evolve, became NXT's, NXT, really. But when they bought Evolve off WWN have kind of fallen by the wayside since the pandemic. But GCW have just like risen like a phoenix. And they're probably, because I don't count Ring of Honor and TNA and people like that as indies, because they're not. They're big companies with TV deals. So GCW are probably now the biggest indie in America, I'd say.
Yeah.
Don't know about you.
Yeah. I'd probably go along with that. Would you count Ring of Honor as a bit of an indie still?
Nah, not really. I don't think Ring of Honor have been an indie for a long time, because they were because AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor, and TNA have been referred to for a while as the Big Four, and I think that's true. I don't think I'd even consider the NWA or MLW an indie anymore either, because they've got big TV deals. So I think GCW have got their setup with Fight or Triller or whatever the hell they call themselves.
Triller.
Yeah. So I think GCW are still very much an indie, but the other six, the big six, as I like to call them, nah, not at all. But I think after the big six, GCW is probably the next one.
Okie.
There's Scott, always behind in the back end, mate. Thanks, buddy. She'll be thrilled. Good. We always love the Sims. Just get through these comments. There's a lot of you tonight. Roman Reigns is going to win at WrestleMania. Not if I have anything to do with it.
You don't have anything to do with it. That's the problem.
Sorry, Cody, you're screwed, mate. They would be asked if the dogs, but they can't talk. Sorry. Danny Green is in. I saw what you said on Twitter earlier today, Danny. I did see it, and we responded. I liked your gif of Stone Cold. It was good. Sassy. Even I'm not. Even I'm not being mean today. Right. Are we nearly caught up?
Yeah.
Nothing This Void is in. Hello, mate. It's been a while.
How you doing?
Cody is winning at Mania when Roman leaves WWE. Right, Dan, I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to leave it to you. Shall we get cracking with the first slide?
We shall. And I've done this in what is supposed to be said is going to be the run night for both nights. So we're going to start with night one. Or I did it in matches I think would get better and better throughout the night. So I think this will still be an absolute banger of a match. We've got Awesome Truth. We've got A-Town Down Under. We've got New Catch Republic. We've got DIY. We've got the New Day. And we've got the Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day, in a ladder match. It is for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. But I've also heard that there could be two separate winners on this match. So one team picks one titles off, and then they leave the second titles for whoever else can get there. Which, what a stipulation that could be. Do you wait? Do you go for the titles as soon as you can, or do you wait until one of the titles have been won and then go for the second titles? What do you think?
That's a really good point. I never thought of that. I just kind of figured they'd do one, then do the other. So we're pretty sure, we're 99% sure at this point they're splitting the belts, aren't we?
Yes.
And if one team gets...
why the rumour to be doing it.
Yeah, so makes total sense because it's got a bit awkward now, hasn't it? And it's also a bigger deal because Judgment Day could retain one set of belts, but they lose another. But they could also lose both. So the stakes have just been raised.
Yes.
And if Balor, and like there's some tension in Judgment Day at the moment, and it could boil over. at Mania, because I think Balor and Priest are destined to repeat their. Well, they had a match, didn't they? In NXT. It wasn't so much. It wasn't so much, and it was Balor's second run. He came back as a veteran. So I am of the view that they are inevitably going to feud on the main roster. But I think right now we also got to consider what's going on with Priest's Money in the Bank.
Yes, but he has got until July to be built back up to be a legitimate threat, I think.
Yeah. God, I was in the building when he won that. Mad, isn't it, really? To think how long everything was ago. But yeah, so I think he could cash in at Mania, but I don't really see where unless they swerve us. I don't know about you.
That if they do try and put take the titles off Judgment Day and have Damien Priest cash in, I think it's going to be a failed cash in. I don't like that idea. I would prefer Damien Priest to be built up over the next 6 to 8 weeks and then cash in maybe at whatever the pay-per-view is after WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, it actually makes a
or
good point.
Maybe see it as what's the one they're doing? Bash at Berlin's a bit too far in it.
France is next. Backlash.
WrestleMania, Backlash. I could possibly see it being there to give an international sort of feel to it. Having it being cashed in a different country is a hell of a lot bigger deal than anything else I think you could do. It's being cashed in at WrestleMania. It's being cashed in the Monday night after Raw, after WrestleMania. The only thing that you haven't done is have it cashing in a different country.
Because part of me thinks, because it is WrestleMania 40, they've got some big plans this year, so they say, it would be a good moment to have a cash in at Mania, especially if someone like Rollins retains his belt and then Priest cashes in. But another idea is, and I don't think Rollins is retaining personally, but another idea is they lose both sets of tag team belts, they fall out with each other, he cashes in later, and Balor costs him. Balor ruins it for him. It's not a failed cash in is absolutely fine when it's building up another story. It's not like that time Baron Corbin just did it and failed. It was like, oh my God, what a palaver. But if Balor stops Priest from doing it, that's a big deal. That's arguably a bigger deal than him winning. So I'm game for that. One thing I don't want to see though, which is what everybody keeps saying, is I don't want to see flipping Awesome Truth winning, but I think they might. I think they're going to get one of them.
I think for me, I would have New Catch Republic win one title and take them back to SmackDown, and I'd have DIY win the other and take that to Raw.
See,
you've got a very easy split on there. You've got two babyface teams, which the crowd will be happy with, and then you have got two separate shows with their own titles, and it's a very easy split rather than just saying, oh, there's a set of titles, there's a set of titles, do what you want with them. You've got two teams that are both doing really well, both over with the crowd, and I think the DIY storyline after WrestleMania is going to be good.
Well, Jay Hodgson just made a great point. Can't wait for Truth to grab one of each title. That's really funny.
Absolute genius.
That is exactly what they could do. See, I've been dead against Awesome Truth winning, but now I know, well, we're 99% sure that they're splitting the belts. I am a little bit like, okay, well, I'll allow it, because look at the Awesome Truth in 2024. I don't care about, but them winning it and losing it later down the line. Okay, cool, fine, that's okay. Because whoever's got the other belt, that can be the big win, that can be the thing, and it would pop the WrestleMania crowd, which is what WrestleMania often does. So I'm not against it, but I think one of the other more serious teams is winning the other set of belts. So I'll give you my prediction. I've already put it on the sheet. So this is actually different from what I put on the sheet, so I might have to change it down for the record. I'm gonna go for DIY and Awesome Truth. So that's two titles changing hands on, so that's why I've gone for 7. So because I think Judgment Day need to lose everything for their issues to continue. And I don't think it's New Catch Republic's time, but it might be their time in Scotland in June.
Yeah. I think you're going to have Judgment Day, maybe going each other's way, cost each other. And that's going to be, the start of the implosion of the Judgment Day. Moving further down the line, obviously, you're going to have other matches, Damien Priest versus Balor. You might even have Dom or JD McDonough involved somewhere. But I think it's going to be, DIY taking one set of titles. I hope it is. And I'd like it to be New Catch Republic, but I can see Awesome Truth being the one that's taking the second set.
Yeah, so we just had Ludwig the Mystic Masterpiece. Great name, by the way. After weeks of Bloodline beating the Stardust out of Cody, I think Rock and Roman win day one, and the Rock turns on Roman. See, I like that. I think there's an element of truth to that, but we'll get to it with that match.
We'll get there.
Stick around, mate. We'll get there. Hi, Jay.
Next match that we've got is, I think this is going to be a high-flying masterpiece. You've got dirty Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar going up against Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. What are your thoughts on this one?
Just opening this beer. I swear to God, these Coors Lights just do not want to open. Hang on. Blimey, who are they trying to keep out? Alcoholics?
Yes.
Yeah. Bad luck. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so Ludwig, I think Cody Rhodes will get the moment on night one, Roman and Drew on night two. Maybe. Yeah, perhaps. We'll get there, Danny. But for this one, for this particular match, so Dragon Lee's entrance, by the way, at Mania is going to be a banger. Imagine how cool that's going to look. And Dom,
100%.
do you remember Dom's entrance last year when the police, because we were there, the police car came in
and cuffs. Yeah,
that was the moment we all were sat together, weren't we? And we all just kind of like, he's arrived, hasn't he? This is the moment. Dominic Mysterio has just become a star before our eyes. It was brilliant. Miplet saying, I got Dragon Lee turning heel on Ray. Everybody else seems to. Why not? You don't know. Yeah. What is Rey Mysterio doing to piss off so many people, by the way? What exactly is he just a bit of a douche behind the scenes? What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Soundsphere magazine. That sounds an awful lot like WrestleSphere. Anyone would think they're connected. Maybe. Hey, Dom. How you doing?
How are you doing, dude?
Get on the stream, Dom. I know you're busy and you've told me, but I don't know. Get on anyway. Hi, Soundsphere, Dom. Ludwig. Danny, do you think Priest is going to pull a Rollins on Seth?
I don't think so. I think Priest is going to be holding the title until Backlash. Different country. It's something that they haven't done before. So WWE are always wanting firsts. So I think that's why they haven't actually put him in yet and made him cash in. I think they're going to save it.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm going to give you my prediction then, Dan.
Go for it.
I think Santos and Dom win this because I feel like there's a lot of big babyface wins on this card and on night two. And Dom getting a win over his dad is pretty cool. And speaking of Doms, we've got some love for Dom Smith right now. Ray filler match. Yeah, it is a bit, I suppose. Michael saying, I miss you, Dom, so much. There you go, Dom. What more do you need to hear? Dom, we love you. Yeah, he's having a. How dare you have a nice, relaxing night with your lovely girlfriend? How dare you? Fans chanting BS because The Rock is late at WWE World. Yeah. He's a heel. Of course he's late. People need to play the game. Dragon Lee and Carlito turn heel, Ludwig saying. Like, if that happens, then, like, I don't know, Mysterio must be doing something. I don't know what it is, but flipping heck. If Priest is going to do a Seth-style cash-in at Mania, it'll be on Rollins or Drew. Yeah, maybe. Dan, who have you got for this one?
I'm going Dirty Dom, Santos. I think they are the next generation of big stars. So you've got to have you've got to have the newer guys getting a good win and having a win at WrestleMania is a good start. Dragon Lee, I think his first couple of matches that he had on SmackDown was already phenomenal. So people are already engaging with him. So he can afford to take a loss and then be built back up later on down the line quite easily.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I just like the idea of the bad guys getting some momentum because they feel a bit like jokers a little bit. So yeah, no, I agree. And someone else should dethrone Rhea. Ooh, we'll get there, Ludwig. We'll get there, mate. Don't you worry. I promise you now. We'll get to those matches and we'll discuss them at length. Dan and I are likely here till probably midnight. I think at this rate.
Well, it depends how long we keep going. So
yeah,
I wanted to try and keep it before midnight because I have got work tomorrow as well.
I agree with you, mate. I'd like to get to bed as well. So, but yeah, we got to do this, and then we'll crack on. But yeah, I agree, mate. We don't want to keep you here all night. You got stuff to do.
Next match. Who do we think on this one? Because this one's one of the newer matches that have been added to the card. You've got Bianca Belair, and the new SmackDown star Jade Cargill going up against the rest of Damage Control. So this one, I think it's been kind of shoehorned into the show just to get Jade Cargill a big show.
Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly say, guys, because we've got a lot of people in and the comments are moving pretty thick and fast. What I'm going to highlight everyone's comment, but I might not necessarily read it out because otherwise, if I do, we'll be here till 1 a.m. So I'll read out a few, but we want to try and stay focused on the matches that we're on. So don't worry, we'll highlight you, but we might not necessarily read it out, but we see you and we hear you. We're going to acknowledge every comment. So so. With this one, I've loved this Damage Control story. I think it's just been absolute fire. But I don't really think there's been much of a story with these three ladies, with Bianca, with Naomi, and Jade. I think this is all a ploy, not a ploy, but a plan to help Jade get over. Put her in a match where they can kind of they can do a bit of the heavy lifting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Help her get some experience as well. I know she's been in AEW, but WWE is a different ball game. All that sort of stuff. But my money is on the baby faces winning, really, and Cargill looking strong. But I do think there'll be some disagreements between, because we've seen Bianca and Naomi being like really, really buddy with each other, which means they have to fall out and kill each other because this is wrestling.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. If you was going to have Jade Cargill lose, you wouldn't bring her in onto a WrestleMania. It's a bit of a showcase match because it's a big name that hasn't had many matches in WWE. In total, she's only actually had 65 matches since going professional, and only one of them has been in WWE, which was the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
That was in January. So your second match is a WrestleMania match. That is a lot of weight on your shoulders. So having the other people in the match, which are seasoned performers, which are very, very WWE built in a way from the ground up, it means that you have got a lot of support there and a lot of people, as you said, to do a lot of the heavier lifting in the match. Whereas out of all of them, I reckon Jade is actually the strongest and can do the heaviest lift out of everyone.
Yeah, in terms of that, but I do think Naomi and Bianca are so much more experienced, and there's been a little bit of dirt sheet news about them not being fully trusting Jade to have a singles match yet.
Yes,
my words, not theirs, but so I think when I say heavy lifting, I mostly mean work in terms of work rate. And I just want to acknowledge Daniel because he's one of our regulars. Daniel, hello, mate. We're doing all right. Dan's got one more shift at work and then he's free to enjoy WrestleMania. I've kind of got one more shift looking after, spending some family time. Then I'm free for WrestleMania. But yeah, we're looking forward to it, mate. How are you feeling? I'll just quickly get through some of these. Oh, Daniel, thank you for loving the stream on Facebook. Yes. I can see that, so thank you very much. I'll blast through some of these comments quickly. I won't read them out. So over to you, Dan. I'll let you move on or say anything else.
I was just going to say, Dan has asked about the football results. I did see him. The Chelsea game, I was watching it. It was a banger. Liverpool game, solid win for us. That's what we wanted. Just keeping ahead in the title race. Next match that we have got, though, is one that I've cooled down a little bit on, because a couple of weeks ago, a month and a half ago, I was red hot for Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, brother versus brother. And it feels like it's been a forgotten sad piece to the Roman Reigns, The Rock, Cody and Seth story, which is a bit of a shame.
I agree. Sassy saying Naomi needed to stay in TNA. She's now a celebrity jobber. Let's see where they go. Ludwig's saying as well, Jade's first match is a damn 6-woman match. I think it makes sense. Let's just get her over with the crowd a bit more. Maybe at Backlash you can have a first one, or from there. I get why they're doing it, because there's a bit of concern backstage. They've got to do things the right way. But I see what you mean. I know it's a bit frustrating. We just want to see a kick-ass. But also less is more, and the more they tease it out, the more worthwhile it'll be. So let's be positive and see where it goes. Daniel says he's got Jay winning, but I think Rikishi will get involved, but I don't know. God, people really want to see Rikishi, don't they? So I agree with you, Dan. I think this was hotter a few months ago when he first turned on him, and it's kind of fizzled out. I think so. For me, what's more important than them fighting or feuding is their unification. The idea that Jimmy might say something to Jay to reveal why he did it, maybe even apologize. You know my thoughts. I kind of want the bloodline to completely turn on Roman by the end of Mania. And I think Jimmy throwing in his lot with Jay after they squash their beef, they fight. Let's say Jay wins. Jimmy says, "Forgive me," let's go back to being who we are. Roman doesn't like it. And I'm kind of, I don't know if they will, but I'm hoping for some reunification. And that will then make Solo Sikoa question what's going on as well. Because for me, I personally think Cody is winning. I think the bloodline might abandon Roman. I think The Rock is certainly going to turn on Roman, but I don't think it'll be The Rock being a heel. I think something might happen to make The Rock kind of snap back into being a babyface. And they then go on. Rock goes away, does some work, comes back, and there's your match for SummerSlam. But we'll see. So I want Bayley to win. Yeah, we do. Do you think we'll see them back together after this match? I don't know if it'll be after this match, Daniel. I hope it will be. But I do think it's inevitable eventually. But I do think that this is part of the wider story with the bloodline more than it is about them two at this point. I think they had it being about them, but as Dan said earlier, I think they kind of frittered it somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, for this one, we did speak, me and Andy, on Thursday or Friday last week, about this match. And I said back then, I think the feud itself feels mediocre compared to what it did a few weeks ago. As I said at the start of this one, I do think if it was me booking this, I would let them do it in their own words, but I would have them mimic what Cody and Dustin did on the very first Double or Nothing AEW show, where Cody sort of was almost breaking down after the match, saying, "I need my brother, I need you back," and doing a super babyface promo, which is what Jay could do. Jimmy then comes back, they hug each other, they both raise each other's arms, and you've then got the babyface Usos again, going back to maybe even doing the face paint when they first showed up as a tag team on WWE TV, and maybe even doing the entrance they did where it was like the hacker.
Oh yeah, I suppose See, I think the minute it goes, Usos, people will pop. Do you know, like, because we've heard like the whole, it's just me, Us, and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, guys, it's just not the same. So the minute they hear that, Usos, plural, I think people are going to go absolutely mad. And I think we might hear that again on next Monday, but we'll see. Daniel says, Sam, you said before, thanks for hearting the stream on Facebook. Why wouldn't I? I love your channel and I want to see you guys grow. Thank you, mate.
There we go. We're going to send you some love back. There we go.
Oh, look at that. That's so cool. I don't know why he does that. I really don't. He's got magic powers. But the reason I said thank you to you, Daniel, is you were the first one who did it. And I'm of the view that the first one who does it should get the acknowledgement. So I acknowledged you, like we won't be acknowledging Roman Reigns on Sunday and Monday. Well, Saturday, Sunday. So we heard something from Danny Green a minute ago about Roman losing the belt later in the year. Don't forget, mate, he might lose it on Sunday night. I'm just saying, like, let's not make any assumptions about where this card is going. It ain't over yet. And there's a lot of momentum behind Cody. And I tell you what, after they messed up and they switched out it for The Rock and then switched it back, they now realize quite how much momentum they have. So let's not assume anyone's winning anything, because I think we're all going to be a little bit surprised come Monday morning.
So let's get on to the next one, which I think is going to be probably match of the weekend. And I'm not talking just WWE, I'm talking Ring of Honor, I'm talking GCW, I'm talking everything. I think this is match of the weekend.
I don't think you're wrong. I think Daniel said, I hate to break it to you, Sam, I want Roman to win at Mania and face The Rock at Backlash. I think it'll be from what I'm hearing, mate, it'll be SummerSlam for The Rock and Roman.
Yeah.
But things could change.
We'll get there.
Mate, I'll be in the building at Backlash. I hope it's Backlash. My God. But we'll see. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. I think I'm loving this story at the moment. I love how Gunther, for the first time, is actually rattled by Sami Zayn.
Yes.
And is being a bigger douchebag than usual because he's so rattled. I just love it. This is going to be a great wrestling match. I'm really, really worried. Andy disagrees with me about this, but I'm really, really worried that Chad Gable's going to turn on Sami, and that's your feud going forward all the way till SummerSlam. But here's what I think what needs to happen here, and I'll explain in a moment. I'll just quickly, but it should have been Chad Gable. Well, I'll tell you why it isn't, Daniel, because I think the story here is Sami loses because of Chad Gable, or loses and then Chad Gable turns on him, and Sami and Gunther feud all the way till SummerSlam. I think at another pay-per-view, Chad does get a shot at Gunther, but comes up short again. And then Sami takes him down at SummerSlam. But I think Gunther retains here. And if Gunther retains, then Roman Reigns is almost certainly losing as well.
That's a bit different to what I'm going for.
Ooh, go on then.
I'm going Sami winning.
Okay.
And the reason I've got Sami winning is because I think Chad Gable is going to turn heel, but I think he's going to do it on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, because I think you're going to see Gable go, I couldn't beat Gunther, but I can beat you. And I think that way you've got a heel being taken on. Sami Zayn's going to have that title. Sami gets the massive pop at WrestleMania when he wins. And then his first feud is going to be Chad Gable, but it's going to be a heel Gable because he knows he could not beat Gunther.
I'm just going to jump in, mate. That's good. Like, I think it's inevitable, personally. I think it's inevitable that this becomes a three-way feud after Mania, regardless who wins. I think that's happening. Just want to quickly say to Misfit as well. Misfit, yeah, we've heard a lot of the news about Bloodsport, but we really, really want to stress that we don't want any spoilers in the stream, because there's lots of people here who are going to go and watch it after the stream, including some of the hosts. So we don't want any spoilers, but yeah, we've heard about Punk and Julia. It's very exciting, and we've heard about the other people as well who have appeared in the ring. But because this is probably the biggest blood sport they've ever done, we kind of want to. We don't want any spoilers to go out because there's a lot of people who have joined us in the stream and they're not watching it and they're going to watch it after. So we would very much politely ask everyone in the comments, even with people hanging out in the crowd, let's just keep everything about Bloodsport under wraps until after the stream, and then we'll go absolutely apeshit on watching it. Only because WrestleMania weekend's a bit different from every other time, and it really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're onto something, Dan. It might make even more sense than what I said, but one way or another, I think Gable is turning heel. I've been saying that for weeks. Andy's been like, "No, Sam." I'm like, "Mate, make your peace with it. It's coming." I do think it would be great for Sami to win, but here's the thing: this underdog story they're doing with Sami Zayn is over too quickly if he wins here. And the thing, there might be some other high-profile losses. I think Gunther's reign is so flipping good. He's the one who retains now because all the others can actually afford to lose at this point, where I don't know if he can. It's fine if he does, because one idea is Sami Zayn wins here, frees Gunther up to go after the big gold belt, or feud with Cody if Cody wins for the undisputed. So, like, Gunther winning does make booking sense. There are a lot of cool, like, they can then just bump him up the card somewhat. And if Sami Zayn does win this belt, either through chasing it for longer or wins it this weekend, it matters way more than the previous times he's won it.
Yeah.
This really matters more. When he previously had that belt, they hot potatoed it about and they used it as a prop. Now it means something because of Gunther, because of Triple H's booking. This belt, I would argue, the IC title means more than the big gold belt at this point. The new big gold belt. I'm saying that as a synonym more than anything. So I'll just quickly do some of the comments, Dan, because while we've been talking, they've been moving thick and fast. Of course, he is. Get the attention, build ego, self-importance. Yeah, Gunther wins. Raw after Mania, we hear AJ Lee theme tune. The crowd will go crazy. CM Punk has said she's not doing that, but CM Punk lies, so we'll see.
CM Punk is a worker.
He certainly is. Even when he's pretending to be a real tough guy. Hate to break it to you, Sassy. He's in the back. Not a lot of people know he's there.
At the minute, the whole wrestling world know he's there, so it's not a big secret.
Yeah, well, I mean, flipping everybody's at bloody Bloodsport from what I'm hearing, but I don't want to hear it. I want to watch it, man. I have to say I want Cody to win, but I don't know. I have an odd feeling Roman could still win. Oh, Michael, believe. Trust me, people. I know he's there, but focused on matches. Punk makes sure he is noticed. Oh, hell yeah. Of course he, yeah. You think CM Punk isn't courting attention? Of course he is. Absolutely. I agree with Sassy. Of course he is. Punk isn't there as a fan. Punk is there because he wants us to know he is there. Of course he is.
Yeah.
But to be fair, so he should. Sam, who do you want to win the tag team titles in your opinion? Daniel, we will get to it, mate. Stick around. We will get
we did that earlier on.
Oh, did we? Yeah, so we did. Yeah, sorry, I've had a beer. I think who I want to win is what Dan said. New Catch Republic and what they call DIY. But I think Miz and Truth are going to win one, and the other is probably going to go to DIY. That's just my guess. But yeah, and if Gunther loses the title, I could see him go after Roman, beat him in Bash at Berlin. Yeah, Gunther is going to feed like everyone. A lot of people don't know this. Gunther is from Austria, not Germany. But even so, they're going to make a big deal of him in Berlin.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, Dan. I'm hoping to be in the building there as well. So we'll see what happens.
I would like to, but I just don't know if I can get it off work.
Oh yeah, that's true. And who knows how many tickets we'll get for WrestleSphere, if any. But we'll have a good go.
So I think the next match is the final match of the night. No, it's not. It's the last but one. But it is the Women's World Championship. Becky Lynch going up, winning the Rumble this year. No, it wasn't. It was Bayley, sorry. Becky Lynch going up against Rhea Ripley. Becky won the Elimination Chamber. I knew she'd won something.
Yes, she won something.
But this is the women's big gold belt. And I think this is going to be an absolutely brilliant match.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say for once, other than that. This is going to be awesome. I don't know who wins this one. This is the one I'm really struggling with. Like, part of me thinks Becky could turn heel because they've wanted, like, Rhea's been the heel going in.
Yeah,
they've both had. See, here's the thing: they've both had a big WrestleMania moment in recent years. So I don't know. Like, ending Rhea's title reign for Becky. Like, Becky's a big deal, obviously, but it feels a little bit premature. But like, if she's the only champion standing at the end of the night at a Judgment Day, that could be interesting because she could be like, "Well, you've all failed, and here I am. Screw this stable. Screw all of you." Like, that could be interesting. But at the same time, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley for that reason. I've talked myself into it.
Yeah. This one, I think it could depend more on if she's re-signed, because she said her contract is up in about 2 months' time. So, would you put the title on her if her contract is up in a couple of months?
Yeah, if she used it in negotiations. Hell yeah! I mean, if that keeps her in the company, she might have used that as part of a negotiation. And at the same time,
but if she hasn't re-signed, because that is the big speculation, is that she has not re-signed at the minute.
To go where, though? It's just a tactic to get more money. They all do it. We all do it in our. I've done things like that in my line of work, and I'm not a wrestler, so you know what I mean. So let's say she leaves. What else is she gonna do? Is she gonna go to AEW? Come on. I love AEW, but I just don't see her working there. I just don't see it. She's resigning. I don't necessarily think she wins the belt here, but look at all the silliness they've said about McIntyre. Oh, he's not re-signed yet. Yeah, guys. Yeah, he has. Trust me. Yeah, he has. It just doesn't need to be public knowledge because nobody needs to know about it. And it's way more fun for McIntyre and the office to keep it secret. McIntyre is signed. Trust me on that. But yeah.
And that is, I think that is going to be a big part of that, is if Becky has not re-signed as a company, I would not put the belt on her. I'm like, you don't trust us. If you haven't re-signed, why would we trust you?
Here's the thing about all these: have they signed? Have they not? A lot of the time, the assumption is often that they are going to re-sign, because if they go, they just go quietly, and they don't re-sign, because that's like with Adam Cole. He was a gentleman about it. He just didn't re-sign, and he said, "Guys, look, I'm not." He gave them a definitive no, guys. I'm not re-signing. Didn't tell them what he was doing, although we all knew. But you know, when they are going to re-sign, it's just a money negotiation. It's just a money thing.
Yeah,
they do what they do to negotiate a higher salary, because that's how the business works. So just because someone hasn't signed yet, it doesn't mean they're going anywhere. It means they're just talking money. That's all it means. I'm of the view that if Becky Lynch hadn't re-signed, or if she and the company weren't confident that she is, she wouldn't even be in this spot. Personally, I just, Bianca Belair would be, or someone else would be. So I don't think Becky Lynch is going anywhere. I'd bet my car on it. But we'll see.
I don't think she is. But again, you've got the speculation of, if she hasn't re-signed, why would you bother putting the title on her? You'd keep it on the person that you know you can use going forward. If Becky has re-signed already, but it is absolutely secret, then yeah, it makes sense to put the title on Becky, I think. But for me, I am still going to put the title on Becky either way, whether she has or hasn't re-signed.
Yeah, because for me, you know me, I'm always about storyline is the thing that matters. And in this particular case, I think that storyline is Rhea Ripley and Rhea Ripley retaining. I'm also curious to see if they do some kind of double turn here. If Becky turns heel, gets mad, and is like, I can't believe I lost. It's just an idea. I don't know. Let's also not forget WWE is relentlessly pushing her book at the moment.
And I don't think you can push the book as a heel.
And at the same time, they wouldn't do that if they thought they were about to lose her. I don't think she's going nowhere.
No.
So Danny Green is saying, WWE did Punk 12 years ago, could have done more to drum up interest in the back of the pipe bomb promo. Or Roman at WWE Tactics. And last week's a performer contract. You got to remember, though, there was a lot of beef between The Office and Punk. There isn't with Becky. Becky and Seth famously get on well, really, really well with Triple H and The Office. So, like, the Punk is Punk. Punk would get into a fight with himself in a locker room where, you know, Becky Lynch isn't that person. CM Punk can't help himself, but get into, like, he's a great wrestler. I'm a huge fan, but I wouldn't want to go for a drink with a guy. That's just for damn sure. That's just the way it is with CM Punk, to be fair. So Dan, how do you do the tiebreaker for timings?
So I was just going to say, if you're putting the time in minutes, so if you did 57 minutes, 34 seconds, you can do it as the actual words spelled out, or you can just do it as a timestamp. So I've just put it in there. If you put the total time, e.g. 57:34, you can do it like that, and I know it's 57 minutes. Or obviously, if you was doing an hour, you'd do 1:57:34. That way I know it's an hour and 57 minutes. And again, this will be using, I'm going to use Wikipedia for this on the timestamps. So whatever Wikipedia says is the time I will be using to calculate that final figure if we need a tiebreaker.
That's a good point. I never thought. I'm glad you think of this stuff, Dan, because I don't. So I'm glad you're here. And I tell you what, mate, we've got another card to get through. We might need to move a bit quicker if we're going to be done before midnight, but I think we'll do all right.
We've got the main event match for night one. It is going to be absolute chaos. You've got Cody, you've got Seth. They're going up against the final boss of The Rock and the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. This is going to be, I reckon it's probably going to be 15 minutes of entrances alone.
Yeah, 100%. Fair enough, Danny. I understand now. Yeah, Junior saying,
acknowledge it.
Acknowledge me. We acknowledge you, Junior. We acknowledge you. So yeah, this one. Who have you got, Dan? And why?
Oh, I want Cody and Seth to win because I want night two to be a clean one-on-one match. We didn't get it last year. We was there. We saw what happened. But I think you're not going to bring The Rock back and not use him as much as possible. So you've got to have The Rock and Roman win. That means night two, you can go all hell breaking loose. You can have as many shenanigans as you want. But when it gets to that match, I will go through a little bit more on that. I'm going to keep people on tenterhooks until we're talking about that match later on.
Yeah, I agree with every word. Like, now, see, I actually want The Rock and Roman to win this one because I want to see a Bloodlines rules match. I think this will be relatively short. I think they'll cheat to win this one in order to get the advantage in the next one. I think there'll be some beef between Roman and The Rock in this. There'll be some miscommunication. They'll start teasing their breakup. But I also start thinking they might even have some tension between Cody and Seth. Let's not forget, this is a marriage of convenience. They've spent a year or two fighting with each other. So, but there's so much awesome storytelling in this match. I absolutely love it. But I think, again, we'll talk about the other match in a minute, but I do want to see an overbooked cluster F in the main event. I don't normally, but the reason I do is because there's been so many different stories and characters involved in this. All of it needs to pay off. I do think we need to see Solo in that match. Or at least interfere at some point. I do think we need to see the Usos. Maybe this is where Jay convinces Jimmy to do the right thing. I do think Sami Zayn maybe the newly minted IC champion, gets involved and helps, because he's still very much involved in this story in many ways. I know they've moved on, but I love the idea of all of Roman Reigns' ghosts coming back to haunt him.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of this match that he's politicked his way into to get the tribal chief rules. I love the idea of that backfiring on him. I love that. And also, the more issues Cody has to overcome, the better he looks in defeat. Now, yes, there's the argument a clean win would be better, but this is a bloodline match. There's no such thing as a clean win. So I love the idea of the heels just throwing everything they can at this, and a load of baby faces playing, basically running interference, essentially, to prevent that. And then Cody winning, overcoming loads and loads of odds. And then the match kind of ending with Rock and Roman staring each other out. But I've gone too far. I think Rock and Roman need to win this one. Make the crowd go, oh no, on night one, so they'll be happy on night two if Cody wins. That is where I am with this.
Yeah, I think night one you could have Solo interfere to help get the Bloodline win. And you obviously have maybe a bit of tension between Cody and Seth, as if to say, well, we should have won that. We needed to win this. We needed to take out the Bloodline. But I don't think having Roman and The Rock win is ever going to be bad.
No.
But like I said, when we're talking about the main event match of night two, we'll go through a bit more of that on discussion in a sec.
Yes.
So that is night one. We are going to start night two with, and I've forgotten the tag team's name.
I've forgotten the name of Lashley's team, but the others are called Final Testament.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they've got their own name. On WWE, do yourself a favor and bring back the Hurt Business. For the love of God, it was brilliant. Why did you get rid of that stable? It was hot as hell. It was the Bloodline before, not the Bloodline. It was Judgment Day before Judgment Day.
It was great.
The Pride. That's it. Thank you, Mark.
That's the one. Yeah. So for this one, you have got Azam and Raykar, the AOP, with Karrion Kross as the Final Testament, going up against Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, the Pride. What do you think for this one? Is this being shoehorned in just to fill night two, do you think?
I'm actually more positive than that. I think this is a good idea, this match. I think it makes sense. We've been seeing it play out on TV. It's a good show. It's a great, I'm happy Karrion Kross is on the card. I'm happy Lashley's on the card. Both of them came up short last year. I know Lashley was meant to be in a match with Bray, and Bray got ill, of course. Rest in peace, Bray. And then we have the Profits. We've got Akam and Razor. I'm happy they're back. I'm quite positive about this match. I don't really mind who wins. I think it's going to be the baby faces. Although, no, I think it'll be the heels, because I think they need the rub more than the faces do. I think Lashley and the Profits don't really need to win. I think we need to see Final Testament start looking strong and meaning something. So, I'm going to go with the heels. And I agree with Sassy. I'm just happy they're all on the card. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one where you could go either way for this match. I don't think any of them are going to come out looking too bad, but I don't think any of them are going to come out looking like a new 5-star main event performer.
Yeah, agreed. Although Lashley and what's he called, Montez Ford, I've done some amazing things in their careers. In recent years.
Montez Ford, I still think, is going to be one of the people that you should be building shows around, but I think he's always going to just slip under the net. Yeah. Which is such a shame, because he is such an athletic guy. He is great on the mic, but I just don't think he's muscly enough or big and bulky enough for him to push him as that next main event guy level.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because he's bigger than Finn Balor and AJ, and they've both been in that position. So I don't know.
He's taller, but he's not beefier build. I think that's the problem.
Well,
He
AJ's
looks
like hench AJ, isn't he, these days?
Yeah, he just looks like a tall, athletic dude, but he's not a big muscle style dude. I know that's not obviously what Triple H's idea of a main event guy is when you've had people like Balor as champion in NXT, people like Johnny Gargano, but I just think that there's just something that is missing from his physical presence.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I will say with Balor, he was the first Universal Champion. He got injured, and that held back his run. But AJ was a WWE Champion for ages.
Just over a year,
yeah. And Hassan is in. Hassan says, "I vote for the Pride." yeah, me. See, I'm voting for the bad guys because I'm a contrarian. So there we are. Hi, Hassan, says Sassy.
So next one, this is actually one we spoke about last week with Andy over on Wrestling Royalty. It's a very interesting match, very intriguing because you've got two big performers and Logan Paul, who is actually doing absolutely brilliant work. So what do you think for this one?
Look, everyone knows how much I love Logan Paul as a wrestler. I think he's brilliant. I think he's superb in this position. I wrote an article about him the other day, for Deserto. They said, Sam, you know about wrestling. We want to write about Logan Paul and what he's doing at WrestleMania. Can you put that together for us? So bish bash bosh, there it is. It's for non-wrestling fans who want to know about Logan Paul, really. But yeah, I love this. I think all three men are fantastic in their own unique ways. I think Randy Orton wins this because they want to kind of they need to build some beef between KO and Randy, who have been buddy going into this. I love the idea of the match, the bell ringing, and then both just going to Logan. I love the idea of like a shark on one side and a lion on the other coming towards but I do think I think Danny Green nailed it there. The idea that Orton pins Owens and then that carries on. But I think with Logan Paul, I think he's done great work, but he might want to go and do some other projects and come back to WWE in the build to next Mania. I hope he doesn't. I hope he sticks around. But I'd love the idea if he. I love the idea of him retaining. That'd be ace. But I do think they want to build Randy back up and give him a few more accolades. So I do think Randy gets this one. That's just me.
Yeah, I think it is a very, very interesting match. I did say last week on Wrestling Royalty that it feels like Kevin Owens has probably been put in there to take a few of the bigger bumps to save Randy's back. Obviously, he's recently come back after 18 months away. So I think Kevin Owens has been put in this one to do a bit more of the heavy lifting with Logan Paul, but Randy's there as the veteran to make sure that everyone is going to look good. You've got the experience of Orton. You've got a lot of experience with Kevin Owens. I think actually more than Randy Orton in this match.
Maybe. I think as well. I think you're right. I like the idea like Kevin Owens can do some like dynamic aerial spots and table spots and the stuff that makes sense for him to do. The putting his body on the line craziness. Like Kevin Owens loves jumping off stuff where Randy has a much more people criticize him for this and those people are stupid. Randy has a much more methodical approach to wrestling and there's a place for it and it works really well in WWE. The idea, it's like this plodding predator kind of thing where everything is move for move, match for match, hold for hold. And that suits Randy, like the way he moves, the way he does it. So it makes sense to have that type of wrestler in this match, but it also then makes sense to have KO doing his thing. But there can only be one alpha, I'm afraid. And I think Randy might take it, and that might lead to some. Also, by the way, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are two of the most treacherous gits in all of WWE. So the fact that they're friends right now, like I said this to Andy the other night, like, do you know the story of the Scorpion and the Frog? This is the story of the Scorpion and the Scorpion. So They're going to sting each other eventually, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, they always say the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and they both hate Logan Paul.
Yeah. I love the idea of them both just turning on, both of them just hunting Logan throughout the match. But what Logan needs to do is set them on each other. That's how he wins.
Fist bump each other. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, fist bump each other, and then as they're doing the fist bump, have a glance over at Logan Paul, and then just go to town on him. That'd be a great start to the match for me.
It'd also be fun if Jake Paul kind of turned up like he did at SummerSlam that time.
Yeah. So what about Jake Paul and KSI showing up to try and help Logan?
KSI made me laugh the other day. He didn't even get to say a word on the microphone. He just got battered and then made to look like he'd weed himself. He got absolutely buried. Like if you didn't know who KSI was, you'd think he's an absolute joker because he dressed up as a bottle, which looked suspiciously like a marital aid, and then he just made it look like he weed himself on an episode of Raw or SmackDown. So I think they do. I know he doesn't work there, but I think they do need to do something to put him over. They kind of owe him at this point.
Yeah. So next match we have got is one that has got a lot of animosity. There's been a lot of stuff on social media. LA Knight, AJ Styles. There's been police involved. There's been attacks in the middle of the street, house invasions, I think, as well. It's been absolutely crazy stuff. So what do you think about this one?
Look, for starters, I'm just happy to have both these men on the card because I think they're both great. And I think them wrestling each other is cool. I'm intrigued by AJ's motivations, why he's being such a douche to everyone. I think there's more to it. I'm interested to know what it is. I think LA Knight wins because I think they need to pull the trigger on LA Knight yesterday. And this is a win over AJ Styles at WrestleMania in 2024 is a pretty big deal. It just is because AJ Styles is AJ Styles, dude. I mean, I feel like the animosity and the silliness that they've done with the home invasions and stuff has been to try and get this match over because it just hasn't been, not really. But I don't really care about that. I just want to see two great professional wrestlers have a great match.
Yeah.
And so I'm into this one. I'm not as excited for it as I am by many of the others, but I love both these guys. I'm just happy they're both on the card in a high-profile match. Doesn't need a belt. I just want to see these two have a great showing, and I won't blink during this match. I won't go and get a beer. I won't go for a wee. I will pause it if I have to do anything. I want to see this match in its entirety. I can't wait for it. And I think LA Knight wins because I think that makes booking sense.
Yeah, I think for this one, there was rumours that LA Knight was meant to have a big high-profile spot at WrestleMania last year, but because of, I think it was injuries, that stopped that happening, which was a shame because I'd have loved to have heard LA Knight's music pop at WrestleMania or even on the Raw or SmackDown on the weekend, and we just didn't hear it, and he was one of the people I was most looking forward to seeing live. But I think LA Knight does deserve a big win at WrestleMania. AJ Styles is already a made man, and I think LA Knight just deserves a little bit of backing, a little bit of confidence from the company to really help push and make him an even bigger star.
Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of this match. The whole purpose of this match is look at LA Knight, the guy you've been shouting, at shows for the past year, over a year now. Like, we hear you. He's a big deal. He's not on the Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Roman Reigns level yet. We're going to try and get him there. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to put him in the match with AJ Styles, a man who's done it all, a guy who doesn't need the win, doesn't need anything. He's got nothing to prove to anyone because he's AJ mother trucking Styles, where LA Knight is a bit more of an unknown commodity, but he's a hot commodity. The world want to see more of him. And I actually think it doesn't need a massive storyline. It's just two professional wrestlers who don't like each other very much, who've been put in a match at WrestleMania. And sometimes that's all it needs to be. It sometimes doesn't need a multi-layered story like we've got with Sammy or like we've got with Roman and Cody, or it doesn't need to be about who's the better man, like it's a Supercard of Honor between Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe. You know, they like each other. They, you know, there's a lot of love for each other, but they're fighting for that belt because they need to know who's the better man. Sometimes that's all you got to do. But this is different. This is just old school heel versus babyface. They don't like each other. Let's fight. I love it. But I'm here for it.
It's nice. It's a basic story. What would you say if they added a stipulation on because of the animosity between them?
The only thing I could think of, because there's no cage match on the card right now. I think if they stuck this in a steel cage, like they did with Balor and Edge last year, and I know, bless him, Balor got injured, but they still salvaged it. I still enjoyed that match. I think Edge did a great job of kind of turning it around.
Buying for Sam as well.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind this in a steel cage or Hell in a Cell. Maybe Hell in a Cell is a bit premature, but stick him in a cage, man. Stick him in a cage.
What about leaving it for WrestleMania Backlash and then putting him in a cage? Have this match and then a bit further down the line, put it in a cage or a cell.
I'm planning on being in the building, so that works for me just fine.
There you go. So, I thought you might be happy with that one.
Yeah. So I don't know what's happening with Backlash yet, guys. We're hoping to go with WrestleSphere. I don't know if it's me and Andy going. I don't know, or me and Dom going. Dom said to me today, if I'm on my own, he'll come with me. So one way or another. Again, this is WWE press office might not give us press passes and tickets, but if they do, like they have for the past few European shows, we should be there and we'll be able to bring some of it to you live, like we did at Mania, like we did at Money in the Bank, All In, and blah, 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 blah. So,
yeah. So we're going to, this one is the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble this year. It is Bayley going up and challenging Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. What do you think for this?
Oh, I pulled a muscle in the gym. I mean, bloody agony. Anyway, kills, mate. I think Bayley has to win this one. Io's been a great champ. I love her. I feel like they kind of missed a trick. I vote for Hassan. I know I vote for Bayley. No, Hassan, I vote for you. I think they kind of missed a trick after Money in the Bank with these two. But I loved how they did Bayley's reveal and face turn. That was wicked. So Bayley's not had her big WrestleMania coronation, and she's been with the company like forever. This needs to be it, please. Can this be it? I really, really want Bayley to win, as everybody else seems to do. Hassan's thanking me. Yeah, I'm booking you to win, Hassan. But I love Io. I love her so much. She's brilliant. And if I said anything less, Misfit fall out of me. So all about Bayley here.
Yeah. I think when Bayley first decided on the person that she was going to challenge, it was such a well done story where she'd been learning Japanese.
Yeah, great.
And then she'd had the interaction in the ring where she replied in Japanese, and the rest of Damage Control looked like they'd seen a ghost. It was phenomenally well done.
Yeah.
But I think since that point, there's been a little bit of forgetfulness of, I won the Royal Rumble, I should be a bigger deal. And it's just petered off a little bit. The deals actually says it best. Bayley's got zero push after a Rumble win. She deserves this. 100%, man, 100%. But what I would like is I would prefer to see Io come out to wear individual music, mainly because it is an absolute banger of a song. I have it playing in the car every so often. And
I put it on the gym tracks. Yeah, down.
It's such a great good intro. And it sounds great with the bass.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's such a track. What's it called? Tokyo something. Tokyo.
Yeah.
It's just bloody brilliant. Yeah, I agree. I want Io to have her solo entrance here because Damage Control might be beaten up from their match. So I hope that. Sassy's telling me about a dinner. Hang on, we've got to stop everything. Forgot about dinner. Traditional gumbo and drinking something. Oh, I've got Kid Rock in my head now. gumbo and cornbread, no baked peanut butter cookies with ice cream. Such an American dish, Sassy. I love it. Such a southern dish. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I had? I went to the pub and had a mixed grill. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Today.
Did you? I love a mixed grill. It's like the it's just the I want everything, but I can't be asked thinking dinner, isn't it?
Yes.
Smashed it as well. That does sound good though. I've never had gumbo, Sassy. Oh, sorry, mate. Go on.
No, Chris again. Bailey needs to win her first title at Mania. I think everyone is going to pop when that does finally happen.
It's about damn time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us, by the way, tonight. I know we're not done yet, but thank you for joining us. Like this has been a pretty. I can already tell this has been a big stream. So yeah, this is awesome. But let's be honest, we're all excited for WrestleMania weekend, so it makes total sense. So
how can you not be?
I hope you turned on the monetization, Dan.
Oh yes. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't already, while we're chatting about it, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe to the channel. It does help us out. And while you're doing that, we have got Wrestling Royalty. We are streaming over on their live for Andy, who is actually at WrestleMania. He has just sent a photo.
Has he really? Has he put it on the group
chat? Yes, he has.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, if you could help Wrestling Royalty out by giving them a like, share, subscribe, give them tweets, give them a bit of love. And then we've obviously got WrestleSphere as well, which Sam is obviously a big part of, Dom as well. So again, they do brilliant wrestling interviews. They've got Gunther on there. They've got Kevin Owens. They've got some huge names dotted about. So we would like to see them get some love as well.
Yeah, totally. Like again, WrestleSphere is a triumvirate now. We are, it's Dom and I started it, but now we brought Andy on board. We've got a couple of high-profile freelancers as well. Dan helps us with, something like tech stuff and things like that. So we are growing, we are getting bigger. But what's great is we've got the might of Soundsphere to lean on, and we've got the community of Gimme a Hull to lean on. So, like with those two pillars, and then starting WrestleSphere during a year where like every major company came over to the UK, we smashed it, and we went to Mania last year, and with everything that's going on, like with Clash of the Castle just been announced, and
yes,
it's mad. Like Jess was saying to me, I'm not gonna. If you go to all 4 of the European shows this summer, I'm not gonna bloody see you. I was like, no, you're not. It's gonna be ace. I'm going.
Is that a problem?
Well, she loves it. It was just the house to herself. She absolutely loves it. Because I don't leave the bloody house because I work from home. I only ever leave the house to go to the gym or something like that. So she's like, I can never just like we've got 3 floors, so I might go up to the office, which is like I love it up there. But the internet's better down here, which is why I do my streaming down here. And when Jess is in bed, she can hear me more up there.
Yeah.
So when I do it down here, like our bedroom is like a million miles away, so she can't. I could yell as loud as I wanted. She still couldn't hear me. So, but yeah,
that's anyway. The WrestleSphere money talking for you.
No, it's not. No. It's not like a massive house or anything. It's a normal house. It's just WrestleSphere. Any money I have hasn't really come from WrestleSphere, not yet. WrestleSphere is still getting going. Any money I have has come from other graft, but yeah, and good fortune. But yeah.
So we've got 2 matches left, which means that we are doing quite well for time.
Yes.
So one of them is obviously Seth freaking Rollins with the big gold belt, World Heavyweight Championship, defending it against Drew McIntyre. Quite a bit of history, and I think if I remember rightly, CM Punk is going to be on commentary on this one. Do we think he's going to stay on commentary, or do we see him going involved in somewhere?
Well, I heard on the grapevine he might be on. Me and Dom, I think me and Dom were talking before. We heard that he's on commentary for the whole show. Like, I don't know how true that is, but if he's only on commentary for this one, maybe less is more. So I don't know. But I think Punk needs to be involved in some form. Mark says nope, he's getting involved. He has got a legit injury, so they have to be very careful what they do with him, not just for health reasons, but for legal reasons as well. But they're all grown ups, aren't they? So,
what are you thinking?
I don't know. I think he's going to get on commentary and he's going to get in someone's face, and that's about it. That's what I think. I think something goes down with Punk. McIntyre capitalizes. McIntyre wins. Because like it doesn't matter. Like Rollins losing is actually a really good story because not only is his body breaking down, because like and Shinsuke identified. Shinsuke's been like, look, I know about your back, I know about your leg. Then don't forget his neck as well. Yeah. There's a lot of things. Like Rollins has got a lot of historic injuries, and they've kind of made a story out of it. And he's also been defending it week after week after week after week, which is taking a toll on him. And he's up against a powerhouse like McIntyre, who can win clean. You don't got to cheat to win as a heel. No. Which is the best type of heel sometimes. Like the Samoa Joes, the Brock Lesnar's, they don't need to cheat. They can just kill you. So the idea that McIntyre loses, Seth's got nothing to be ashamed of. But at the same time, Seth can always be like, if I hadn't spent so much time going to bat for Cody, would I have lost? And that's great storytelling. That's what McIntyre's been saying to him. McIntyre's been saying, no. Give me your best you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Didn't he say we'd get physical though? Or where did he say that? Did he say that in his interview?
I think he said it on Raw.
Oh, did he? I don't remember.
He said he might have to get physical. He might be in the ring. He might be on commentary. But I think if you're having Punk on commentary, you can't have him not get involved and at least be in there, maybe even teasing both of them and just really creating some animosity, because when he is back, no matter who has a title, he is going for.
Yeah, it's
I mean, Seth has called him some unsavory things on previous interviews, but he has said, I will do business with him. Drew, again, I think is a very business-orientated person. He will do business with anyone if he knows it's going to be profitable and make money. But the T-shirt he put out where we were standing over a photoshopped image of Seth Punk's career or WrestleMania dreams was unbelievable. I thought it was such a good shirt.
Yeah, that eulogy he gave on Raw was absolutely mwah. See, I was a little bit worried about McIntyre turning heel because babyface McIntyre kind of goes off script a little bit and has all these funny quips because he's such a smart guy and he has such a great sense of humor. He's so quick. I thought do you remember when Baron Corbin had his Dogs of War stable? McIntyre was just this grunting buffoon with wet hair who portrayed Dolph Ziggler. Like when he turned face, he became a lot more charismatic and a lot funnier. And what's great is with this heel turn, which took a while to actually become a real heel turn.
It's justified heel, which is the best.
But not only that, he's kept his
wit.
His wit, yes, his wit is the word. But he's now using it in a mean way, but still a bloody hilarious way. So I'm really relieved that he hasn't just become the Scottish psychopath. He is just a pissed off, just as sarcastic, just as funny as
Scottish sarcastic path.
Yeah, and so I'm loving it. Like that promo he did the other day, it was corny as hell, but I don't care. It was brilliant. More of that. I could watch 2 hours of that every week, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, who have you got winning then?
For the reasons I said about McIntyre and Rollins' injuries and Punk getting involved and all of that, I think McIntyre takes this and then if Roman Reigns loses, we've still got one world champion as a heel. We've got to kind of keep the balance. And also, I love the idea of Rollins not having his belt, Cody having a world title, and then Seth being like, I might have mine if I hadn't helped you get yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Seth's held the title since Night of Champions last year.
Yes.
So it's all going on for almost a year. He's held that title. And I think this is probably the biggest threat he's had. So I think Drew winning the title, and I think further down the line, I think Damien Priest cashing in on Drew makes a bit of sense because they had the Drew and Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley sort of trying to get Drew on side, and he actually slapped them away in a sense.
Yeah, it all fell apart, didn't it?
It
Yeah,
could
he
be a
hates
bit of
them now.
revenge story now. So I think that makes sense going forward.
For that to work, I do think they might need to turn Damien Priest face, or maybe Drew. Yeah. They could turn Drew face, but it's a bit early because he's only just turned heel. It depends what, like, let's assume Cody wins tomorrow, and because Clash at the Castle, I talked about this last night on the Clash at the Castle stream. We've got Drew and Cody front and center, and everybody, a lot of people are thinking, are they the two world champs going forward? And it does make sense. And if you're going into the Scottish show, obviously you're having Drew front and center, of course you are. But having Cody front and center as well makes sense. Now, they could go up against each other, which suggests one of them ain't winning at Mania. But you could also have a situation where they're in two separate matches.
Yeah.
With other people, which is, I think, is probably more likely. The question is, like, it's all right with Cody. There's lots of people who can face him, but who do you put against Drew? And do you book Drew as a babyface for the Glasgow crowd?
Because if you're using that, I would probably have Seth lose the title to Drew, and then near enough immediately start that face turn. So when he does go to Glasgow for Clash at the Castle, it's June, isn't it? June 15th.
Yes, June 15th.
You've got a month and a half, 2 months to be able to build him back as a face and just have huge pop as Drew comes into the building at Clash at the Castle, because you're losing. I don't want to think it, but I think you're going to have Seth Rollins disappear for a little while, recover, heal up some injuries, and maybe come back around SummerSlam. But have Drew be that new face champion that is batting away people like Gunther, because Gunther's lost his title at Wrestlemania. So you've got a big heel ready for Drew to go up against as the face.
To be fair, that will be epic. If or you could also have if Roman Reigns might need something to, like, let's say Roman loses, Roman might also need something to do in the run up to SummerSlam, and a feud with Drew, Clash at the Castle, to go after the big gold belt. Well, that could be something to do, because then imagine Drew flattens Roman Reigns in Glasgow, revenge for what happened in Cardiff. The more we talk, Dan, the more a babyface Drew McIntyre starts to make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll turn until around the Backlash time, or maybe out just before that. Like, he could just say at WrestleMania, he could do what Nick Aldis did, just put in reverse. Like, Nick Aldis lost his title in NWA and been a massive heel, and then was like, what did that belt do to me? I'm really sorry for being such a dick when I had that belt, guys. It became all consuming, and that makes sense. So I love that Okada did something similar, actually, when in one of his reigns. And what if Drew does the opposite? Drew wins the belt and goes, you know what? I went to a dark place to get this. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm back on my whatever. Seth was defending this week after week after week. I'm going to do the same, Seth. And then when Punk comes back, maybe around SummerSlam, he could be like, hey, sunshine, you and me have got unfinished business. So there's so many routes they can take. But what I love about this Mania is the heavyweight championship, the undisputed championship, and the IC championship are all connected this time. There's so much connecting storyline. Andy Spores is here. Oh my God. Hang on. Is he in? Can we get him in?
We will do. If I do.
Hang on, Andy.
One,
there we go. We did it. Hello
from
Philadelphia. How are we?
Yeah. I'll apologise. I don't know if the connection's going to be any good, but I'm hoping it is. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's good at the moment,
you're very
dude.
loud. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just in the hotel room in Philly before running out to go to the WrestleCon Super Show. But I thought I'd stop by and say hello.
Yeah, good. Because we were hoping you would, because it's a nice surprise for everyone in the chat who's like, oh my God, he's here. So because we've been talking for like an hour and a half. Well, me for even longer because I did the Ring of Honor one. But how is it so far? So where have you been? What have you done? Talk us through it.
So we arrived last night, and then we had a lovely dinner last night in Philly. Decided not to get a cheesesteak yet. We're going to get a cheesesteak when we've got a good time to enjoy it. I had a great grilled cheese sandwich, and then today we got like at 4:45 in the morning, and we went to Washington DC to go visit Joe Biden at the White House. So we saw the sights of Washington DC. It came back. We've just stopped at the Superstore, the WWE Wrestlemania Superstore, and seen all the merchandise. I bumped into Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, who were there. They were just walking around. There was no one like looking after them. They were just in the store. And I got a picture with Josh Briggs, and I said, I thought people might have asked you for because obviously he's got a big match on NXT Stand and Deliver. And I said, I thought people might have been asking you for a picture. And he said, dude, I'm a fan like everyone else. I just enjoy it. And if anyone asks me for a photo, that's great. But I just want to pick up a couple of T-shirts, meet a couple of people. And he was a lovely guy. I know there's some kind of speculation about that sort of stuff around, but my interaction with him there, he was a nice guy. Busy, also, lots of people dropping money.
Let's not forget, he's the forever Evolve champion. He was the Evolve champion when it got bought by WWE, and he never relinquished. So as far as I'm concerned, Josh Briggs is still the Evolve champion. Sorry, Andy, you were saying.
No, just the Superstore is busy. Lots of people dropping hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on autographed stuff and belts and T-shirts, jackets. I don't think I spent loads of money, but I spent enough that I will not be spending much more for the rest of the weekend on merch. But
careful, Andy, your wife might be watching. Be careful.
Well, I think she'll be tucked up in bed. Hopefully, she doesn't see this. But lots of cool stuff. So if you are in Philly and you're watching this or anything like that, then go check the store out because I'm sure you'll find something that you can like. We did pop our head through the curtain at WWE World, which is the sort of new version of Access. There was rumours. I think I don't know if I can confirm this. The Rock was supposed to be on at 4 in the afternoon here. We think he might have been quite late and might have been a couple of hours late and finishing up later on. I can't.
Too.
Yeah, we think he was just finishing up as we popped our heads in, but we didn't have tickets because the evening stuff is I can't remember if it's the evening stuff that's sold out and the day ticket's still available. But it's a big space, lots of things to see, lots of props and things like that. So very cool. But yeah, we were a few minutes away from getting a taxi over to the old ECW arena to go watch the WrestleCon Super Show. Which has got some great names on it. Matt Riddle's going to be there and Nick Namath there, Joey Janela. So, yeah, we're going to go check that out. That starts in about 25 minutes, but luckily we're just down the road, so it won't take too long.
Cool.
But, yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying the prediction stream and enjoys WrestleMania weekend. I might pop my head in at some point over the weekend again, but keep up the good work, lads.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. We're really excited, aren't we? Dan's got a work shift, sadly, to get through tomorrow. He'll be champing at the bit to get out of it, I imagine. But what are you gonna do? I've got a weekend in the flipping lakes before I can start watching WrestleMania. But we'll do it.
But no, it all starts tomorrow for WWE. We'll be at SmackDown and the Hall of Fame as well. Before that, we've got Progress Show tomorrow. We might even squeeze in something else. I think we were looking. There's like Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling or something's on. That's got some good people on there. I did as well. I don't know if you spoke about it. I saw a picture floating around that apparently Julia was at the WWE World earlier today as well.
Yes.
So she's around
taking photos with the crowds.
Yeah,
so she might be one of those at NXT.
From Misfit about Julia. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? That you're there, we're here, and it's so weird. It's a shame that after last year we're not there with you, but
yeah,
who knows? We'll all be there again together at some point. But
Yeah.
again, I've got to ask you, Andy, how's your jet lag doing? Because I remember by SmackDown, by the Hall of Fame, I was dying. I don't know about you boys, but I was dying by then.
Jet lag's not too bad. As I said, we got up this morning at what time? 3:45. Yeah, because we had to get a really early train to Washington. But to be honest, it works out because you're kind of still on UK time. So we just kind of stayed awake until then. I'd imagine if we're going to feel it, it'll be in the next couple of days. But at the moment, it's going okay. I feel like when it all slows down and I get back to the UK, I'm going to be in trouble. Put it that way.
Are you going to go and watch Head PE tonight? Because that's what you've got to go and do now.
Yeah, if they were playing, I might do.
Could you imagine? No. That'd be so sick. If anybody doesn't know this, when our first night in LA, when we were all there, we all went out for dinner, didn't we, lads? We had a lovely time. We met up with some of Dom's mates. We hung out with some wrestlers very briefly in that bar. Got a couple of pictures, and then we were all thinking, Jesus, let's just go to bed. We're dying. No amount of Red Bull is working anymore. Nothing is working. Dom goes up the street. Head PE playing. Should we go and watch a Head PE concert? It's like 11 o'clock at night, but who's up for it? And we're all thinking, are you serious, mate? We're dying. But then we went in, a couple more beers, a couple more Red Bulls. We were bopping away or moshing away. So it was a great night. But so that's why we're saying to Andy, go and watch a Head PE show, because that's what you do when you're hardcore at Mania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you, lads. I'll let you get back to your regular scheduled programming and crack on with the rest of the predictions. But lovely to see you all. Have a lovely WrestleMania weekend. If I don't see you before
you go,
enjoy it.
Just give a little plug for what you do.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I don't do anything. No, you can catch me. Some people might be watching. They'll see me normally on a Friday night. I do the Friday night features that are on Wrestling Royalty and on GAHY as well. And yeah, if you want to see me do some like editing stuff, which is to do with my own personal journey in fitness, you can go check out Roller Coaster of Running, which is where I do my sort of running journey, my running vlogs, etc. But I'm hoping I'll piece together some sort of articles for WrestleSphere, Soundsphere, etc. I'm sure Sam can plug more about WrestleSphere as the night goes on. You can see some of my work there. But another cheap pop for WrestleSphere as well. So check out that good work, and there'll be plenty of stuff, I'm sure. But if you want, follow me on Twitter. I'll be putting some stuff out at Sporsy19. And yeah, just look out for some photos from the next few days. But as I said, have a lovely WrestleMania, and I'll catch you guys real soon.
Mate. We demand more pictures and for the Give Me a Whole Yeah page as well. Because you're carrying WrestleSphere and Give Me a Whole Yeah and Wrestling Royalty, no pressure.
And the boots on the ground.
It's all you are. It's all on you this year.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to go to ECW Arena.
You'll have a good weekend.
Wine.
Mega jealous.
See you later. EC
Take it easy, man.
EC Dub. I was sick. I'm so glad he did that.
Yes.
Because I can't believe he's going to the 2300 arena right now.
I know.
But we're going to bed, Dan.
Well, we've still got the main event to go.
Yeah.
So
we'll get you in bed before midnight, mate. I promise.
Yeah. First of all, we both think it's going to be Bloodline Rules, I presume.
Yes, 100%.
So with Bloodline Rules, do we think Cody is going to finish his 2-year story? Or do we think Roman is going to end up holding the title even longer until probably even past SummerSlam?
I think Cody wins. I think all the stuff they've done with The Rock, doing what he's done to him, and the Mama Road stuff and all that, like, I think the time is now. I think Roman wants to start winding down, just have a bit of time away, focus on his health, focus on his family, explore some opportunities in Hollywood, and kind of work as and when he wants to, where and his title reign, people are getting fatigued with, because the Roman match is becoming quite formulaic now. We've seen it a lot, and I enjoyed it, but it was the Sami Zayn and the LA Knight matches that made me kind of think, okay, this, like when Anthony was saying, I don't like Roman Reigns matches, that it's the same match every time. I was like, you've got a point, but I kind of like it, so shut up. But now it's getting increasingly difficult to argue with that.
Yes.
And they've got to do something about that soon. They could have mixed it up and had Roman win clean a little bit more, but they didn't. So here's the thing: Roman needs to lose that belt at a WrestleMania show. Anything less is disrespectful. SummerSlam is not good enough for the end of that title reign. Sorry, it's not. So if Roman doesn't win here, doesn't lose here, you're looking at next WrestleMania.
Yeah. And
he doesn't want to be here fully, like just even as much as he is now in a year's time. He wants to have a bit of time away. So Danny Green is saying Roman Reigns 1-on-1. Bloodline starts slowly breaking up, cost him after Roman beats Hogan's number of days record around Bash at Berlin. There's a few reasons why they're not going to do it that way. I vote for Cody Rhodes. Yeah, me too, Hassan. Because like there's some confusion with Roman's title reign. He hasn't held that belt as long, even then, as Hulk Hogan, because it's the universal belt he's held for the longest time. The belt that's like 50 years old is very, very different. And he took that 2 Manias ago off Brock Lesnar. He hasn't held that for the same. Like, yes, you could argue that they're unified now, so one can inherit the heritage of the other, but I'm not sure you can really get away with it that way because he hasn't held that other belt for that long. So you can't say he has. And they're playing fast and loose with that. But I'm of the view that if not here, when? And in terms of the bloodline slowly breaking up, they can't telegraph it too much because if they do, it'll be obvious straight away. I think there's already evidence that the bloodline is kind of doomed. I think they've been telling that story for a long time now. I just think it takes Jey Uso to remind Jimmy. Without Jimmy, Solo starts to wobble. Cody gets Roman gets increasingly vicious, starts shouting at Solo. And he always needs a scapegoat. The Rock walks away after night 1 of Mania. It's just Solo and Roman. What if Solo decides he's going to follow The Rock and not Roman? It all falls apart. Like, the pieces are there, so don't think Roman's 100% walking out of this with the belt. There's a lot of... I think there's more evidence to suggest that he's not. That's just me. Over to you, Dan.
I think you don't bring someone like Cody Rhodes in as this huge star at WrestleMania 38, giving him the grand entrance.
Yeah.
You don't have him come out on Monday Night Raw and cut a unbelievable, heartfelt promo talking about winning the big one, winning the one that my dad never won. I know it's technically, if you want to get really pedantic about it, it is a different title to the one that his dad won. His dad didn't win.
It absorbs the same heritage. It's like the WWE Championship is the success, the spiritual successor of all those.
Yeah.
So it's still the
it's still sort of, it's a different lineage, but it is still the biggest title in the company, and that's what his father never won. So I don't see him not winning last year and them not keeping that story going and having him not win this year. To me, if they did that, there would be so many people, 1, frustrated, 2, annoyed, and 3, would turn on the company themselves for booking that straight away.
Yeah, here's the thing. They want to turn Cody Rhodes into the next John Cena. Now, maybe he won't be on the same level as Cena. Maybe nobody will. But they're looking at Cody Rhodes as that next guy. That's what they're looking at.
Next
and
complete face.
Yeah, exactly. And if he loses a second time, he isn't that guy. He isn't the thing. Yeah. So that is why I think he might be winning, because I struggle to see where else they go from there.
Yeah.
Where if Cody wins it, a lot of moving pieces with the other belts and stuff like that all click into place.
Different characters, different matchups.
Yeah.
It creates
Different era.
so many more things going forward. But if you don't have Cody win, you're back to exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
With the top guy being a part-timer, the guy wanting the title on a different show altogether. So to me, there should be no question that Roman is losing this title on Sunday night at WrestleMania.
I think you just worded it more articulately than I could have. I think that's it. I think that now is the time. That look, we could be wrong, and they might have an awesome story planned that we haven't predicted. It's happened before. It can happen again, but I think where we are, because of it happening before, if they do it again, it's going to start to look like they're being contrarians and they're just doing it to be shocking. The thing with wrestling is you've got to eventually have the payoff. You've got to eventually have the good guy winning. Even if it's... See you later, Michael. Thanks for joining us, mate. Have a good weekend. I'm looking forward to getting and watching some stuff, dude. I mean... you've got to pay off this eventually, because if you keep spinning it out, people are going to lose interest. They in this guy, they just are. Like there's this strange theory that this is all because he's only on a temporary contract and he's going back to AEW. Sorry, I'm going to say that's horseshit. He's not.
No.
Like maybe he's going to go back there one day, but there's nothing on the cards for him to go to AEW right now. Believe me when I say that.
Not when they've announced he's just signed a new contract.
Yeah, like that. What on earth? Like he's not going back there for some time, maybe ever. Because if he gets what he wants, the thing he couldn't get, he didn't manage to get there. He's gone back to WWE and he's on the cusp of it. And I'm telling you now, when he joined the company, it came with provisos, which is I'm the one who beats Roman eventually. And this is where I do it.
I don't even think it'd have been that convoluted. I think it would just be in my contract. I will hold the championship one day.
Yeah, but like they've done, like what they're doing with Cody Rhodes is they're setting him up to be a generational babyface, like Stone Cold, like The Rock, like Hulk Hogan, like John Cena.
Bret Hart.
I think this. Yeah, like all these people who are all excellent heels as well, by the way. But apart from Cena, if you don't count the Undertaker feud, which I do, I think he was a heel in that feud. Sorry, he was.
Yes, he was. Calling him out. That is a heel move.
He became increasingly heel-like. Taker came out and squashed him. So John Cena was a heel in that feud. But yeah, they what they need is a guy. See, they wanted Roman to be that guy. And then they eventually realized that the fans were right, and that Roman Reigns is absolutely the guy, but as a heel.
Yeah.
Like he's built for that role as a foil. But every foil, every supervillain needs a superhero, just as important. And Cody is that guy. So Cody is the plan B and a happy accident. But don't think they're just going to make Cody lose and then go to the mid-card next week. No. It's not happening. Not happening. Like one where, like, even if it isn't after this Mania, Cody is gonna get that belt. Yeah. Don't think The Rock's gonna get it at SummerSlam or anything like that. If Roman doesn't win at this WrestleMania, then Cody probably is at SummerSlam, which I think is disrespectful to Roman personally, which is why I think it happens now. I just someone changed my mind. Someone somewhere.
Because I think for me, if you're having this match now, you've got to have Cody win. I say you have Roman disappear for a month or two, rest up, do what's needed, because he has been a little bit more active, not as much as a full-timer, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
But I think your big money match for SummerSlam, because he is more well known for it, is The Rock versus Roman.
So
That
I'm
is
just,
that is a match that needs no titles. It needs nothing apart from The Rock standing face to face with his family member, Roman Reigns, nose to nose, teeth bared, wanting to be the head of the table, wanting to be the final boss. And they are both wanting each other's mantle, each other's title, because it means something to take the title off the other member of the family.
Yeah, and you're right. That storyline is good enough on its own.
Yeah.
Just being that storyline where Roman can go off and do whatever he's doing with whoever. No, sorry, Cody can go off and do whatever he's doing with someone else. You've then got whatever's going on with the IC, whatever's going on with the big gold belt. You've got whatever's going on with the United States Championship. It frees everybody up to do something else, and all the wheels move at the same time, which helps power the machine. The machine chugs on, and I don't think the machine can chug on with Roman Reigns, as brilliant as it's been, clogging it up.
Yeah, because what I am actually thinking is, with that storyline going forward, if you have Roman versus The Rock, I think you could turn the Roman babyface in that match.
Well, I've got another theory. I think Rock, because like with Roman, I think his face turn needs to be a slow burn. Needs to be a redemption story, where The Rock can have a period of uncertainty, can have a period of madness. Something can happen with The Rock, and like after night one maybe, and he can be like, you know what? No, screw you. I don't acknowledge you. You're a dick. You know, like you have got in the way of who I am. No, you know what? Nah, I'm done with this. I'm done with you, boy. And Roman can be like, I'm your tribal chief, which begins their feud, and spells the end. Because the thing after the Rock only turned heel because it made sense to, because the fans turned on him. That's all it is. We still love The Rock. We still want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns, but we didn't want to see it at the cost of the story we've been invested in for 2 years. That's all it is. No disrespect to The Rock. That's all it was. We love The Rock. We want to see that match. We just didn't want to see it on top of over this one. So, that's just it. So I think The Rock will go back to being classic WWE legend Rock and being the babyface. And that. But Roman could still beat him at SummerSlam. But I love the idea of Roman coming up against somebody like maybe Jacob for 2. I know I've said this before, but the idea of someone coming in and being like, or even Solo Sikoa. But Jacob for 2 could be like, hang on, you said you were the tribal chief of our entire Anoa'i clan. Mate, I never acknowledged you as tribal chief. You were just some douchebag. I don't care. You had the belt. Well done. You think you were the head of the table, the chief of our entire clan. No. Half of us didn't agree to that. Only the people who were here agreed to that. I'm here now, and I'm fancying I'm going to be the tribal chief, and you're a little bitch. And before you know it, you've got like a heel Jacob for 2, and you've got the Roman Reigns redemption story, and he's got to overcome this wayward, aggressive cousin. Or they could do the same thing with Solo Sikoa, or because people keep thinking Solo Sikoa is going to turn face, and he might, but it only makes sense for Solo Sikoa to turn face if he's going to join a united Usos, maybe Sammy as well, maybe The Rock. The bloodline. I've always had this idea of the bloodline walking up the ramp and looking back at Roman Reigns and being like, "Nah, mate, you're on your own. You're on your own. I'm sorry. We tried, but you went too far." I love the idea of that. They might not do it, but that's what I've been thinking all along. But with Roman Reigns, the story continues. The question is, after SummerSlam, if he is indeed fighting The Rock, and if that happens, is that when he takes his break, or does he go away and come back at SummerSlam?
I think like I said, I think he has maybe a month, 2 months off, and then comes back June, July time, and then starts that storyline with The Rock for the August SummerSlam show.
Yeah.
I think it's a good amount of time where you've already got that pre-built story with it being The Rock and Roman, with it being family, with it being after this match at WrestleMania. So you could plant the seeds of, I don't know, Roman hitting The Rock with a spear accidentally in this match. And then a couple of months down the line, you have them both come back and you have that feud built of, you was the one that cost us on the night, or you speed me, you knew where I was, it's your fault. So you could, it's an easy story to sort of build into that, to go forward with that, into a SummerSlam match. And like I said, you can have Roman be more like an Austin type heel face, where the crowd are behind him, but he is still doing bad guy things.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the way that you can get Roman over as a big character. He is selling a lot of merch already anyway. He is still one of the biggest stars and the biggest personalities they've got. But having him as a tweener babyface, heel babyface, it's easy to be able to get to that point, but you can still keep them bad guy characteristics.
I remember a few years ago when they were really shoving Roman Reigns down our face as a babyface. And, you know, before the pandemic and before he got ill and you know, and they did turn him and all of that, they were really, really pushing this babyface angle with him. And my wife was like, what's the name of that bad guy? I was like, oh, do you mean Roman Reigns? And she was like, I was like, he's a good guy. And she was like, what? In what universe is he a good guy? They should make him a bad guy. So even then, even she knew. So, I get it. Right, yeah. So, guys, I think we've covered everything we needed to cover, Dan.
Yeah. It's been
It might be time for bed.
couple of hours near enough.
Yeah.
So all I'm going to do is make sure that you are watching on Saturday night, because I will be here covering WrestleMania Night 1. I will be back 24 hours later covering WrestleMania Night 2. I may see if I can drag special guests in, special appearances from a couple of people. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
I can't guarantee it. If you don't want to join in the predictions yourself, I have pinned the link in the chat. It is in the description of the video. It is also on our Twitter and Facebook pages. So get yourselves over onto them. Let us know that you've entered. We will be keeping our eye out on WrestleMania itself, so I can let people know who's doing well, who's doing not so well. And there is a couple of tiebreakers in there. We did have Mark ask earlier on. If you are putting a time in, it is the complete time for Night 1's main event, Night 2's main event. What is that combined time going to be? If you want to put 1 hour 43 minutes in total, you can write it as 1 hour 43 minutes as words. You can put the numbers in, but make sure you put it in a way that I can understand that, so I know if you are going to be winning. If you haven't already, Sam, get your votes in.
I've done it, mate.
Okay, that makes it a bit easier because I don't have to chase you tomorrow for it.
No, I've done it. I did it in between the Ring of Honor stream and this one.
Okay.
I said I would, so I did it. So, so that's done.
If people do want to, we did do a Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor predictions just before this one, which was Sam covering all of that one. He knew a lot more about it than me, so I didn't want to sort of say rubbish. But we also did an unboxing earlier this week. So it was a Pro Wrestling Tees one. A lot of good stuff in there. Go check that one out.
Hull Yeah Hot Take as well. We did a Hull Yeah Hot Take. Our first Hull Yeah Hot Take we did this year.
Yes.
This week as well. So we've been
Clash
on it.
At the Castle in Glasgow, 15th of June. Sorry. So yeah, if you haven't already, we would appreciate a like. We'd appreciate a share. We'd appreciate the subscribe, and we shall see you soon. Who shall we have? Tell you what, someone who has main evented a WrestleMania. Why not? We shall see you soon, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley, Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Oh Yeah. I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day.